let's skip the age. um,
Sure. My name is Sagar Gangurde, and I'm based out of Mumbai, India. And I work with Seeds of Peace as the director for the India programs. And it's been a hell lot of a journey of 9 years. Lots of learnings, ups and downs, but overall, I would say it's been enriching and an amazing aspect of my growth. So, yeah.
My name is Qasim Aslam. I run the Pakistan chapter for Seeds of Peace. I am also the oldest creature to exist in the South Asia program. I was a seed 2001 PS counselor, advisory board, and right now running a chapter in Pakistan and a gather fellow. So everything Seeds of has to offer, I took it.
A complete circle, huh?
So can you tell us how you know each other from when you first?
Yeah, sure. So I joined Seeds of Peace in 2013, and I was brand new, and I get this email from Qasim that a Pakistani delegation wants to come to India for his. He was running a wonderful project back then, the history project, which was basically comparison of the Indian and the history textbooks, basically major political events and like how they are portrayed differently in different textbooks. Just the two countries' textbooks. So just to highlight how the government, the school, the systems kind of portray history, like how is history written and how it is taught and what are the differences of the same things, then giving an opportunity for the youngsters to think critically about what are facts. Yeah, so it was quite interesting, and we wanted to kind of try it out, do workshops in schools, and just to get a feel of how it's landing on the youngsters of both the countries. So a Pakistani delegation was about to come, and the visa process, and I was the one who was facilitating that because I was inviting them to Mumbai. So yeah, I think that entire experience and that back and forth, I had to travel to Delhi, stay there for 3 days. The Ministry of Home Affairs clearances, the Ministry of External Affairs clearances were like a nightmare. But of course, there was support. We were in touch, and finally the delegation arrived, and we were out there in Mumbai schools conducting these workshops about like stereotypes and different biases that we hold, the unconscious biases and all. So I think that was the first starting point when we met, spent time in Mumbai schools. So yeah, and since then we have been working together.
That is true. The first time I shot him an email, he obviously was very warm and was like, sounds wonderful. When? I was like, 4 weeks. And so I was like, let's do it. And I was like, I like this guy. So yeah, 4 weeks, fast forward 4 weeks. We're there, lovely. Visas come with restrictions. We're supposed to stay only at the addresses that we provided in the visa application forms. And day 2, Sagar asked, oh, wonderful, where were you last night? I was like, oh, everyone might have been in the same place. So yeah, fun evenings, fun times. Project got banned eventually, of course.
Tell us a little bit about that.
This is like not on the screen. But yeah, fun times. Been doing interesting and crazy stuff since then, and we're kind of tag teaming the South Asia program right now. Used to be Afghanistan as well.
Nice. Give us just a brief description of what you feel, how you would describe your working relationship, personal relationship.
I think we have like various set of programs. There are like local programs, and there are national programs, there are regional programs, like India, Pakistan, international programs. So always we have delegations from each countries. So that gives us an opportunity to kind of coordinate when different delegations need to come together for a program. However, when we are doing India-Pakistan programs, like we did one program in Istanbul in 2020. So that gives us a close opportunity to design together, co-create, select facilitators, work with the team, travel, plan the logistics. So yeah, I think there are exciting times, and there are some kind of times when we are kind of grappling with challenges about funding and how do we fund this, how do we do more programs of India, Pakistan. So when the pandemic kicked in, we kind of are experimenting with different ways. Now Qasim is launching a dialogue academy online, which I think he'll talk about more. So I think programs as like these give us an opportunity to collaborate. And of course, there are fun times like these when we meet in different countries, when there are programs and get to spend time together. So yeah, I think in the past 8-9 years, we have met at least like 6-7 times, maybe, if not less. So yeah, so that's how I would say the working relationship is. And we also, when we collaborate on projects, it gives us an opportunity to work on a diverse team, like people in India. Now currently we have 2 program managers from India who are like directly working with Qasim's team in Pakistan. So yeah, so there's exchange of expertise and ideas and knowledge and culture. So that's ongoing, and that's part of our work.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to focus on this part, okay? Everything that he said, and I just want to zoom in on the rapport that we managed to build. Like, there's a project one of the projects that we're doing right now. 10-second version is that Indian and Pakistani filmmakers have been making short 10-minute films about cultural similarity between the 2 countries, and they've done it completely remotely without ever having met over the last 2 years through the lockdowns. The launch is next month. Fun story. When we did so, anything India Pakistan can draw a political flag. So we didn't want to go Seeds of Peace public with it at the application level. We were like, when we launch the film, we can do it, but not when we're inviting filmmakers. So I rolled out the applications and I removed all the Seeds of Peace branding. And then this fellow over here just sends me like this, shut down the applications right now. Why is there no Seeds of Peace name on it right now? I was like, Sagar, breathe. Few deep breaths. Remember what Alia does. And then Sagar goes like, no, take the applications off. And I'm like, I just told the person, take the applications off. And then I told Sagar, I'm busy right now. I'll talk to you day after tomorrow once you breathe and stuff. But the part I want to zoom in on is that there was this faith that either I will see what he's trying to say or he will see what I'm trying to say. And that we're both coming with aligned interests and with care for each other and with care for the work that we do. And we did. 2 days later, we spoke. For the record, he saw my side. But more importantly, I appreciate this about Sagar and how I have a callous approach. I'm always like, let's try and make this happen. Let's see what flack we get and we'll deal with it. He's a lot more thorough, and I really appreciate that, especially when we're hiring people. I'm the one, this guy looks great, let's hire him, and he's like, let's talk to him. Let's get the commitments in place. Let's understand what else he has on his plate or she has on his plate. And so I really appreciate how our working styles complement each other, and we're able to do some really interesting stuff. And I'm like also excited about the dialogue academy that's coming up.
Yeah,
you're going to give me schools for it.
Of course. No, I mean, thank you for sharing that experience. In that moment, I think I was kind of reacting, and that's very rare actually. But in that moment, I'd like to be honest. I kind of I was reacting instead of thinking and responding. And Qasim kind of sensed that. He has this amazing ability to sense things beyond what's visible. And I think that was a strategy. I don't know if you'll agree or not, to have that conversation 2 days later, So in those 2 days, I kind of thought of various aspects about it. What are we dealing with? What repercussions this program could have? And it took me like 2 days, but this guy just thought about it in that moment of that second when he was messaging me. And I was a very different person after 2 days when we had that conversation. So, like 80% of his job was done by just strategically saying, let's talk about this 2 days later, And I kind of saw where he's coming from, and I don't think there was much explanation needed. I kind of entered into the conversation with a renewed understanding, a more in-depth, nuanced analysis of what we are getting into. And I think I had also written to Josh, our executive director, like, what are we doing? But then I later realized that it's not a simple program. What we do in India, it's India, Pakistan. We are having filmmakers collaborate on films on social, cultural, not issues, but diversity over there. So I think that's what I appreciate about Qasim. And though he's being very modest, calling me thorough, but I think he is much more thorough than me when he has this very nuanced understanding of the socio-political climate, the different repercussions different actions could have, and he always gives me that reality check and reality balance. And it's an amazing relationship that we share, and like a camaraderie and good, I would say, work buddies, where we kind of balance each other in terms of his political understanding of issues, because he had his father working with the government, and so he had this in-depth understanding of how systems operate and how we can basically work with them and not necessarily against them and invite resistance.
I mean, I think the reality of it is, it's tough. It's going to get tougher. The economics of the world, the politics of the world, all seems to be moving down and right. So let's not. I'm under no illusion that it's only going to get tougher. And we have met some wonderful people, visionaries, experienced folks who've seen the world evolve the way it has, and they corroborate this trend. But they also speak about, we have no other choice but to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
The world may never find its balance as maybe the people around here imagine balance to be. But none of that changes the fact that we must try and connect people. We must try and get them to see the human in everyone, irrespective of the nationality, the skin color, the geography. And I don't know what else I would be doing.
You met each other, you didn't meet each other in camp.
No. Through Seeds of Peace. I didn't go to the Seeds of International Camp as a camper.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
So Sagar joined as an employee
2013.
2013.
You were a camper.
Yes, counselor.
I think only you have not been a facilitator.
I camped
Skip
now.
that for a while.
Yeah, I did. Facilitated not at camp, but
At camp.
otherwise.
I think we should do one delegation, you and me.
What's your sense moving forward with all the challenges?
Right. Yeah, I kind of completely agree with what Qasim shared. It's getting tougher in terms of everything, like registration process, the compliances that we have to make, additional reporting, increased surveillance, and all of that. However, it's important work that we are doing, and there's this reality, which Qasim said, that it's moving towards right, but at the same time, there's also this need for creating spaces where the youth of India and Pakistan, and all youth, I would say, have this opportunity to really engage in difficult conversations, or conversations that really matter to them, and when we talk about this different violence techniques that organizations who have some different agendas in mind use, there's this need of kind of creating a more richer and more deeper understanding of what a person is. Yes, a person could be from a particular nationality, from a particular religion, from a particular caste, color, ethnicity, but beyond that, there's so much to that person. And I think our programs, like our dialogue programs, or where the youth comes together, we learn to move beyond those identities, beyond those stereotypes, beyond those biases, prejudices that we hold for each other. And many times these prejudices are like really deep-seated, and they are not aware about holding those, because the mind is really conditioned to believe that as the truth or the reality or the social common sense which prevails about different identities. But our programs just give an added perspective of bringing that to surface. So sometimes we are like very intentional about creating these situations or just rocking the boat so that these prejudices surface, and then it's out there and they're kind of putting a finger on it and then deciding what they have to do about it. So I think the work that we are doing is much more important than it was any time before. So I think that's the only hope, and that's the only motivation that kind of keeps us going. The moments in our programs where a participant shares about, oh, I thought all Hindus are like this. Oh, I thought this Muslim I can never befriend, but there's so much more to it than that. So those are the moments which kind of give this renewed enthusiasm and motivation to keep doing no matter how difficult it gets. And of course, with strategies and techniques and diplomatically, we have to kind of organize programs to kind of address these challenges.
I must confess, I was thinking about the things that I remember this is the day you chose to wear
This t-shirt.
Tom and Jerry.
I think more than Tom and Jerry, it's about staying weird. I was kind of contemplating, should I hide it? I think, why not? Let's own it.
I expect 9 out of 10 people to skip the text and focus on Tom
Tom and Jerry.
But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Today.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Maybe I'll gift it to you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.